Be one of those people in Central Park. What do you call them? With the beatboxer, the street drummers, bucket drummers, man. They probably make bank. They're good, Sash. They're good. They stop BC in his tracks, man. Then what they can do. Oh, Sash. Crazy. Crazy good. Oh, the light is on. We are on. We are on the air. What's BC talking about, man? What's up, everybody? Fancy meeting you here. Top of the morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are in the grand world. Wake up, and get amplified. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? The day's not going to come to you. You got to go to the day. You got to seize that day. You got to amplified power bomb that day. Cover that day. 1, 2, 3. Pin that shit. Beat the shit out of the day, man. Whatever your favorite finisher is in pro wrestling, do that to the day. I don't care if it's some sweet chin music or you put the fucking day in a sharpshooter. You give it an amplified Batista bomb or a Wardlow bomb. I don't care if it's a Stone Cold Stunner, a fucking Pedigree, fucking Frog Splash. Knock the day out, man. Give it a KO stunner. Just knock the fuck. Just get amplified. As you can tell, BC's had a few coffees already. It's still early, but I want to talk about two big stories coming out of. I love that, man. I'm gonna drive Sasha, my assistant, through the fucking brick wall now. Be like a fucking drum roll, Sasha. No, never mind. I got it myself. Okay, I gotta work on that. That's not a drum roll. That's more like a fucking stampede in the Revolutionary War. Attack! BC's off the wall, bro. BC's off the wall today. But I got a little bit, just a little bit of time to talk about these two stories. Big stories from yesterday. And that's the Monday Night Raw rating going against two NFL, not really that big. It's the Vikings and the Eagles, let's be honest. Bills, Titans, okay. But two games, doubleheader. And we were just thinking, I almost said Vince McMahon, whoa. Can Triple H try to maintain a reputable number, man? Try to stay over that 1-7. Try to creep back toward 1-8. He's not going to hit probably 2-0 on a double-decker, but compete. Can he compete? You hope that he doesn't go any lower than last week. Raw. Well, oof. I put the Raw review up early yesterday, like 8, 9 a.m. So if you didn't know that BC did a Raw review, I did, and I wouldn't blame you. I did it so early. I put it up so early. A lot of people were waiting for it all day, not knowing it was on the channel. That's why you got to stay notified, man. Always being subscribed is only one thing. You gotta be notified because that's the best chance you're gonna know. BC puts up vids at any hour of the fucking day. It could be 3 a.m. and BC's gonna put up a vid. I could go fucking. I can do a live stream at fucking 4 a.m. You never know with BC. I'm a little wild. So I put that vid up, and then a few hours later we got the number, and I was just like, damn, I wish I was live right now. But I had a lot to do. There's no way I could talk about it. So I wanted to take a little bit of time that I had this morning to discuss this rating and what it really means. And Tony Khan, the boss from AEW, knows exactly what it means. A half an hour after the Raw rating came out, you're not going to believe. Tony Khan, there's no shame in his game. If you're Tony Khan, he's waking up every morning living his best fucking life. I mean, I know on the outside he may look fucking paranoid. He may look like he's on a bunch of fucking different pills. I don't know. I think he's a good guy. He's just very, very... He's ultra. Whether that's good or bad in the eye of the beholder, he's ultra, man. And he's a quirky dude. But he's just living his best life, man. He gets on social. He doesn't give a fuck what he's saying. He's like, yeah. He's fucking putting his deodorant on. He's brushing his teeth. He's fucking throwing jabs over to Triple H. He's fucking announcing more surprises and announcing announcements that will be for an announcement. I mean, he's just on social. Just whatever comes to this dude's mind, he's spitting out. He needs a PR guy. But wait till you hear this, man. I mean, It's not even subtle. I can't even say his jab to WWE or Triple H was subtle. It was not. But I'll get to that in a minute. First, let's go over this rating, man, because this is a big story. It just is, guys. NFL came up, and the NFL knocked Triple H for a fucking loop. I always say I never throw a mulligan for competition with NFL sports, holidays, presidential debates, or speeches. None of that. I understand it's going to affect wrestling shows. Never should you use that as an excuse, though. You should always still compete. I'm not saying you're ever going to beat Monday Night Football, but you absolutely can compete with them. That's what they used to do in the Attitude Era, for instance. You competed, right? You got a chunk of their fucking audience tenfold. And the NFL knew they were getting hurt by pro wrestling back in the day. Not just WWE, but WCW. Just wrestling was hurting the NFL, right? Now, obviously, times have changed. Obviously, wrestling is not as strong as it once was. But to see the ass whooping that Triple H has been taking the last couple of weeks, it's sad. And it sucks, right? Because Triple H has been trying. Triple H has honestly been trying to, I mean, little things like Doudrop and Nikki Ash way in the back in the parking lot while a separate interview is going on. But if you look way in the back, you see a car crashed and fucking Nikki and Doudrop are yelling at one another. I mean, it gets you, it's like, what the fuck? Triple H is planting all this little shit. Pretty fucking cool. You got Dexter Loomis coming out showing up in the crowd. You got live events playing White Rabbit, and now all these QR codes. I mean, there's this huge tease. Is it just character furtherization for Karrion Kross? Is it a re-debut, the return of a Bray Wyatt, right? It's got people thinking. You got longer matches, more competitive matches, many would say. Tag team champions finally rectified a wrong, but Io and Dakota, maybe we can get some semblance of a tag division. He's bringing back people like Johnny Wrestling that a lot of us do love and appreciate, like Karrion and Io and Dakota. And I mean, he's trying. You know, it takes a while, and it sucks to see the rating that I saw late last night. It really sucks to see that, man, because it's so deflating. And if it is for the fans, could you just imagine how deflating it is for Triple H and everybody that has been trying to make this product better when you wake up and you see a 1.593? 1.593 is what they pulled. That is the lowest since July 4th. So you had the fucking big July 4th holiday again. I don't use that as an excuse. Absolutely, it dents the rating, guys. I'm not saying it doesn't affect it, but I'm saying don't use that as an excuse. You have to be able to produce a show that is going to take away from any other audience, whether that's a holiday, a big football game, any sport, any presidential speech. You know you're going to get fucked with by it, so it's your job to produce a show that is going to get viewers back. At the very least, keep switching back and forth, right? You want to watch the game, but you gotta watch this fucking match. You want to watch the game, but you gotta watch this promo. You want to watch the game, but you gotta see if Bray Wyatt's coming out. You know, you gotta see who wins the tag titles, maybe, you know? It's your job as a promoter to make sure that the eyeballs are on your product. You can't just fold up and curl up in a ball and hope that you fall off a cliff somewhere and nobody notices, right? No, oh shit, football's back. I'll just be back in 4 months. You can't do that shit, man. There's no way you're ever going to fucking survive as a company if you do that, right? Triple H knows that, and that's why the last couple weeks he's been trying to compete. It's just is now showing it's just nowhere near good enough. 1.593. To put that in comparison, last week they pulled a 1.709. So they were fucking around in the 1.7s, now they're in the 1.5s. Now why that's the problem is that 2 weeks ago they were over 2 million still. 2 million 2 weeks ago. Last week, 1.7, they lost 300,000 viewers. And you can't just say it's football. I mean, because the number fluctuates anyway. So we don't know exactly how many went to football. And then this week, after losing 300,000 viewers last week, now they're in the 1.5s. losing another, it's not exactly 200,000, but you're leading now toward 150,000 more viewers lost. Add that to the 3, and you are now between 4 and 500,000 viewers that you've lost in 2 weeks. You have lost 500,000 people in 2 weeks, guys. I don't care if it's the Super Bowl on Monday. When you lose 500,000 people, not good. You got to take a deep breath. You got to think, how can we make people, at the very least, again, switch back and forth more than they did Monday? Because people weren't even switching back. I mean, this was just a fucking slaughtering. They just, guys, when you're only pulling in 2 million, that means if you lose 500,000 in 2 weeks, that means you lost a fourth of your audience. I'm laughing at it, just fucking how tragic it is. Not because this is funny, believe me. This is depressing. This is actually fucking, it's deflating. A quarter of your audience gone. It doesn't matter if they can try to come back in 4 months, they're going to lose all the storyline, everything you're working for now. It's all going to mean nothing to a lot of these fans if they're just going to come back in 4 months and see if they need to start tuning in again. 2.5, and again, Triple H inherited that. It's not like Triple H came. A lot of people are just giving Triple H the credit for getting the 2+ million. Guys, it was already on the upswing during the Vince McMahon investigation when McMahon was solely in charge still. It was already creeping to the 19s. And then, of course, SummerSlam puts that over the 2 mil, and then Triple H took over. So he inherited the 2. What you got to give H credit on, though, is that he kept the 2.0 plus for the next couple of weeks. So he was able to sustain it. But it's not like he came around and he's the reason that they went from a 1.5 to a 2.0, for instance. People were, it was suspenseful. It was captivating them, this whole McMahon investigation, man. And McMahon making appearances, and the ratings would jump up when McMahon would show up just to say, welcome to Raw during the investigation. And before you knew it, they were at a 1.9. SummerSlam and McMahon mixed together in the news that there was going to be a switch up. Of course, you were over the 2 mil. But Triple H was able to sustain it for the next couple of weeks. Now, I mean, it's looking like he just doesn't have an answer for Monday Night Football. And Triple H, this is very personal because he didn't have an answer for Tony Khan. You guys remember when Tony Khan beat the shit out of him, AEW versus NXT on Wednesday nights, and Triple H just could not find a way. He tried everything. He tried to do what Tony was doing. Tony would do a lot of like Wednesday night type of pay-per-view shows. He would just label them something funny like Fyter Fest or the bashing at the beach, brawling at the beach, beach brawling, beach babes, whatever he called them. And then Triple H would try to do that on Wednesdays. He'd bring back the Great American Bash or a Halloween Havoc or a fucking In Your House, whatever the fuck. But he would have a specially themed Wednesday night show, but it just wasn't working, man. Tony Khan just kind of had his number. And then he started like going on later, old school Eric Bischoff tactics. So he would stay on after the 10 o'clock hour or whenever they were on. He would stay on like 7 minutes later. So he would, if AEW was over, they would still be on the air so they can try to get you with a cliffhanger or something. He tried everything, and AEW just kept beating the shit out of him until the USA Network and Vince McMahon were like, dude, we're losing money here. We're not gaining viewers. Like, can we, we got to do something. So a lot of people are still upset about 2.0, but I don't know what people thought was going to happen. Vince McMahon never made a dime off of NXT, and that was on his dime. Triple H just got to run it on Vince McMahon's money. So McMahon never made a dime. Triple H was getting his ass whooped. McMahon made a last-ditch Hail Mary. He's like, well, rather than get it taken off the air, let's try something new. 2.0 didn't really succeed, but it didn't fail. It kept the numbers exactly where H had them. So now I think it's no harm, no foul if it goes back to the black and gold. It's not going to ever be what it once was. NXT, that type of NXT, is fucking dead. It's gone, guys. But hopefully it can have some type of resurgence where it can go over 1 million in viewership on a consistent week-to-week basis. But that remains to be seen. But Triple H already got his ass whooped by Tony Khan in the past, and now it looks like the NFL, it looks like in the first couple of weeks he does not have an answer. And again, it's deflating because it looks like he is trying. He's trying to implement some storylines, longer matches, and he's trying to find the right balance. Problem is, the niche audience is giving a shit. You're not gaining anybody else. In fact, you're losing a shit ton of people. So that balance is not there. I don't know if that means shortening up a couple of more matches, adding some more storyline elements, even more than he's trying to. I think that's the case. Because you got to find ways to do it, man. Back in the Attitude Era, I have to bring this up because this is the best part. This was the best era for competing with the NFL. And you had a lot of storylines taking place, man. It didn't matter if the APA was having a fucking poker game in the back and people were pissing them off. They're beating the shit out of people in the back from the poker game. Somebody's waiting for somebody at the fucking bar. You had Stone Cold waiting for McMahon in the ring. You had Brock waiting for somebody, or somebody was waiting for somebody in the parking lot. I mean, all this shit was going on one show. You couldn't even fucking flip over to Monday Night Football for more than 4 minutes before you had to flip back. And if you flip over, in a lot of times, the last channel on your remote control, you can watch one channel and then press one button, it takes you back to your other favorite channel. Well, your last channel wasn't even on Monday Night Football. For a lot of us, it was on fucking TNT for Nitro. So you were flipping between Raw, Nitro. So while you're fucking seeing Stone Cold Stunner fucking McMahon, then they go to commercial, you would flip back over and watch the NWO throwing Rey Mysterio into a trailer like a lawn dart in the parking lot. This was true shit. This is what we were doing back in the day. So maybe just wrestling, just having longer wrestling matches. I mean, you can't keep losing more and more people like this, guys. And not gain people and only lose people, because that's what's happening. You just lost between 400,000 to 500,000 people in 2 weeks, and people are going to be okay with it because it's football, basically. That's okay, basically. In 4 months, it'll be better, basically. Or basically, this was just because it was a double header. No, they already dropped 300,000 last week. That was from the one game they lost to 300,000 during that time slot. So the double header, of course, it's going to make an impact. The problem is, no pun intended to Impact Wrestling, but the problem is you can't focus on that. You have to focus on your product. Dude, you just lost a quarter of your audience in 2 weeks. You just lost 500,000 people almost. You have to find a way. Again, this is the time. This is crunch time where Triple H either curls up in a ball and he fucking tries to fucking either puts himself through a brick wall, or he tries to get fucking roll off a cliff and hope nobody fucking notices until football is over. Or you put the big boy pants on. You find the fucking imaginary grapefruits that Vince McMahon was always talking about. And you fucking make them unimaginary. You make them fucking realistic. Unimaginary? Is that a word? Yeah, maybe that's a word. Sasha's gonna look it up for me. You make it fucking realistic, those fucking grapefruits, man. You find you take your balls out of fucking Stephanie McMahon's purse, you strap that shit on, and you take it to the stratosphere. This is the time, man. You can't keep doing this, guys. You can't go to a 1-4. 1-5 is the lowest that this show has gone. 1-5. So, I mean, this is what Vince was pulling months ago, and now we're right back to it. That's what I mean. That's the problem. The next level, right, you go in 250 quarters. So the only lower you can go from 1-5, guys, is a 1-2-5-0, is a 1.2. Tony Khan was just fucking with that on a Wednesday Dynamite. That company's only been around for 3 fucking years. And they pulled a 1.175. I mean, if Tony Khan is pulling a 1-2 and Triple H is fucking around with a 1-3, 1-4 in 2 weeks, wow, whoa, have the tides turned. And it looked like just a few weeks ago, Tony Khan had lost all momentum. Triple H and WWE had all the momentum. And now Tony Khan is on a string of good ratings. The last rating that I saw still shocks BC a week later. You're going into Grand Slam tonight in New York City. Queens, I believe. I mean, you got to believe that's going to be another huge rating, over 1-1 at the bare minimum. And Triple H is going backwards. Monday Night Football is not just beating them, they're beating the fuck out of them. They're crushing Triple H. And Tony Khan is showing no love, no compassion. Tony Khan is not letting his foot off the gas pedal. Tony Khan is not showing any compassion for Triple H or WWE. Tony Khan, listen to this. Tony Khan went on his social. This fucking guy. This dude, he really did this. He went on social. He put up one of those GIFs, whatever the fuck you call them. We'll call him a GIF like it's peanut butter. He put it up of a guy shouting out, "Are you ready for some football?" Like the old song. A lot of you guys might be younger, but there was an old song, man, a Monday Night Football theme music. Was it Hank Williams Jr.? I'm asking Sasha like she knows. Oh, yeah, actually it was, right? Oh, there you go. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. This was a real song, right? So now the whole thing for years and years has been like, are you ready for some football? Every time the season starts. Tony Khan put that meme up, are you ready for some football? Now, some people are like, what's the problem? His dad owns the Jaguars. He's a big part of the team. He's just asking, he's pumped. They got a W recently. Well, the problem is, it was put out on a fucking Tuesday afternoon. There's no football on a Tuesday. What the fuck is he putting up? Everything at that point was about Grand Slam in his AEW. He just comes out of nowhere. Are you ready for some football on a Tuesday? And on top of that, in case you needed any more evidence, right? Well, maybe he was just feeling the Jaguars at that time on a Tuesday, BC. It was put out less than a half an hour after the Raw rating came out. Yeah. It came out less than half an hour after the Raw rating. That's when he put that fucking, that social media, maybe it was like a tweet. I think it was on the tweeter machine or some shit, but he put that out. Maybe it's on his little Insta, whatever the fuck. Maybe it's all over his social. I don't know. But he put that out less than a half an hour after the Raw rating. And if you think he does not watch and look out for the Raw rating as closely and as vividly and as quickly as he does the Dynamite rating and Rampage, you don't know Tony Khan. He has shown that before. He has talked about the Raw ratings before within an hour of them coming out many times. So he was closely, with a keen eye, both keen eyes, he was watching out for that Raw rating. It's not a coincidence that he just put that out within a half an hour of the Raw rating being released, and then Tony Khan puts out, are you ready for some football? Mocking, taunting, teasing WWE, and more importantly, Triple H, man. In other words, saying, are you ready for some football? Yeah. They got crushed by football. The rating comes out. You know this is a devastating blow to Triple H and WWE. And you came out with that fucking tweeter? Damn! Tony Khan, man. This dude woke up. He's choosing violence over here. Tony Khan, dude. This motherfucker, he does not run the company stereotypically. Some people love him for that. Some people say he should tone it down just a little bit, but he does feel like Triple H has been slighting him. And I told you guys, when H took over the main roster, it's going to be the same thing like NXT. Triple H, no matter what he says, he absolutely looks at AEW as competition, and he is pissed off that he got his ass whooped when he had NXT. You know that. Triple H is that kind of guy. That's not a diss. There's a lot of people like that, right? And they're not gonna swallow that ass whooping pill. And Triple H is one of those guys. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree with Vince McMahon. They are ruthless. And they're in Triple H, he will do anything to put them out of business. That was the whole reason they signed so many fucking talents when AEW was starting. It was a clear mission from Vince, and Triple H knew exactly what that mission was, and he was on board fully. Get as much talent as we can, make sure they don't get anybody. Little did they know, there was so much talent in the world, and AEW was able to fucking get so many. And Tony Khan just botched homegrown talent for WWE X talent, and that's why they couldn't consistently pull $1 million plus over the last 2 years. But it looks like they're back on track ever since the Lethal Poison has been removed from the locker room, removed from the company. Of course, that's CM Punk, Phil Brooks. Wherever he goes, he's just a man. It's a divided locker room. So now that he's gone, it looks like that locker room's back. The morale's up a little bit. Seems it anyway. The ratings are up. The company is on the up and up. But for a long time, man, that was not the case. And Tony Khan could have made that much better had he just paid attention to the homegrown talent, man. There was times where Jungle Boy, Orange Cassidy, Wardlow, FTR, even with 3 sets of titles, you guys know he botched the book in the last several months with FTR. I raised the statistics. In the last several months, they've only had 2 actual tag team matches, not including 6-man tags or one-on-one matches. Actual tag team. Well, people can't view you as a tag team if they're not watching you as a tag team. Wardlow, don't even get me started. They put a title on him, and then they just forgot about him. That guy's not been relevant since he's gotten the title. He has not been relevant. Sadly, he's not even defending the title on All Out. He's not defending the title tonight for Grand Slam. He's in a tag team match. All Out, he was in a 6-man tag. How do you book Wardlow like that? Don't get me started on Thunder Rosa. And Britt Baker, once Britt Baker lost the title, she was into irrelevancy. And now they're starting to try to make her something. And by that point, the fans are already a lot of fans have had enough of Britt Baker. They botched it. Just because she lost the title doesn't mean she shouldn't be fucking relevant, man. Put her in a storyline. She wins the fucking Owen Hart. That did about as much good as it did for Adam Cole Bebe, who was booked 85 billion% better in NXT than AEW has done so far. And he knows that. Adam Cole just sent out a fucking a tweeter recently in the last 24 hours. And he said, when I come back, I'm running shit. He's like, mark this post just for reference. Like, not only am I saying this, but you can fucking mark this shit. So it sounds like he's even pissed. And he's going to he probably already had a talk with Tony. And he's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, just release me if this is the case, man. I got to be better than this. So can Adam Cole shine and thrive in AEW? We're going to find out. It looks like he's done playing second fiddle. We'll see if he deserves to be second fiddle or first. But you can go down the line. I mean, that's a separate conversation. But even with that, man, Tony Khan was able to beat fucking Triple H, and Triple H didn't like that. That was a conundrum for H, man. Like, how do I beat this guy if I ever get another chance? Even though they're not on the same day, when Triple H took over WWE, for the most part anyway, you know that he's going to stick it to Tony Khan, and that's what Tony claims is happening. Like, people, when Triple H took over, they started trying to get talent that was already fucking contracted to AEW, and Tony Khan ran a meeting. He was pissed off, and he was asked, like, do you ever see a forbidden door type of situation with WWE? Do you ever see a working relationship with WWE in the future? And he actually said, Tony Khan said, when it was with Vince, yeah. I don't think he said like with the regime before, yes, there was a chance. He goes, now, absolutely not with the way they've been treating me. That was what he said, guys, to the media. So you know it was more than just the people, Triple H's people trying to get talent that was already in AEW away from AEW. You know it's more than that. It was the words that we were hearing, the rumors that we were hearing that started to be more and more true, that people in WWE, the locker room, were making fun of Tony Khan. And he was like a laughing joke within the company. Tony Khan found out, and I think that really pissed him off, in the way that Triple H and them talk about Tony Khan. So this has become not just personal for Triple H to beat Tony. Tony Khan absolutely wants to stick it to Triple H. And if you think that was just a coincidence, that less than a half an hour after the Raw rating comes out and we find out that Raw got crushed, not beat by Monday Night Football Double Decker, crushed. In the last 2 weeks that Triple H has lost nearly 500,000 human beings, 500,000 viewers in just 2 weeks. A quarter of your entire audience, 1/4 of your entire audience wiped away in 2 weeks. And this dude puts up, are you ready for some football? Really? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, by the way. Some of you guys may love that. Tony Khan showing no fucking chill. Tony Khan waking up and choosing that violence. A lot of you guys think it's just tacky. It's like, dude, really? It's like, if you ever start getting your ass whooped again, if you find yourself under 1 million again, and H finds himself back over 2, are you really going to be talking shit? So a lot of you guys are going to feel differently about it, obviously, but that's the story, bro. Like, WWE got rocked. That's a true rating, 1.5, and that's their lowest that they were pulling with Vince. And they're right back to it. We knew that football was going to ding them up. We knew that. We were hoping we weren't going to ever see a 1.5 again. I think we all can agree on that. We were all hoping we were never going to see a 1.5 ever again. That was strange to see many months ago. Not too surprising if you're BC, because I've been covering this on the channel for over 5 years. I've been creating content on this channel for over 5 years, and I've been talking about the ratings going down and down. So I told you guys it was going to happen, 1.5, and if at this rate, it was going to go to 1.250. The investigation happened. People started giving a fuck. People were interested in the investigation. Vince McMahon was being advertised for shows, bumping up the ratings. SummerSlam happened, which bumped up the ratings. The Triple H new regime. And before you know it, we had a string of over 2 million. And now it looks that's dramatically over. And they're already back in the 1.5s. Man, it's deflating. And I really hope the best that Triple H can bounce back from this. Think of something, man. He's been trying, and now, sadly, he's got to try even harder and faster because this is a sinking fucking ship. If they dip to 1.4, Tony Khan is right there. It's not Tony Khan's catching up. Tony Khan is on your ass in the left lane of the highway at that point. Tony Khan's trying to... You ever go to if you drive, you've been in the left lane? Right, on the highway, that's the fast lane, right? But you got the car who's behind you who doesn't think you're going fast enough. So he's got his lights blinking. He's trying to get you to pull over to go to the right lane, right? Because you're not as fast as him, and this is the fast lane. So he's on your fucking ass. Now you could either be a fucking dick and stay ahead of him, or you can be like, all right, bro, I'm not playing this game. I'll go over here, you go faster, and then I'll go back. You know, and Tony Khan is if Triple H goes to a 1-4 and this dude can pull a 1-2 from Grand Slam, he's trying to get Triple H to move into the right lane at that point. I mean, there's no other. That's the exact analogy that I would use. And for the longest time, I was talking about Khan being in the same line, and he can see Triple H or even Vince McMahon at times, and he just has to try to catch up. I'm telling you right now, if Triple H loses another 100,000 and Tony Khan sustains near a 1-2, Tony Khan is caught up. I don't know if that makes you guys happy or not. I don't know if you're upset at the messenger, right? Maybe you're pissed off at BC because I'm giving you the news, but that's the truth. I mean, this 1-5 is fucking shocking. I didn't think we'd see that again. Double-decker, triple-decker, if the Super Bowl was on Monday. Okay, maybe the Super Bowl, but not the Vikings and the Eagles, bro. Come on, the Vikings are in my boys, the Packers division. I know what the Vikings draw. I understand it's the Philadelphia Eagles. They're a bigger market, but I know what the Vikings can draw. And the Bills and the fucking Titans? I don't know, guys. A 1-5. It's sad and deflating. That's what I'm going to lean it at. And Tony Khan just fucking kicked Triple H while he was down. That son of a bitch. Much love and respect, guys. That's what BC has for you. Whoop the rest of the day's ass, and I will catch you guys. Tomorrow, maybe? Yeah, we'll talk about Grand Slam, actually. So, fuck yeah. Stay subscribed and notified. Smash that up on the way out. Appreciate it. And think, be, live, amped always, like the merch says, man, right? Do what the merch says. When in doubt, do what the merch says. That doesn't necessarily mean put everybody you see in a fucking headlock, by the way, like BC does, right? That's how I meet my boys. Yo, what up, Johnny? Fucking get him in a headlock. Start fucking throwing in fucking Owens belts. Popping a motherfucker. BC, get off, man! Think, be, live, amplify. Do what the merch says when in doubt. That's what we do. All right, should we end this now? Sasha, you want to hit some... We didn't have intro music because I was doing my own fucking... I was doing my own fucking street drumming. So let's put Sasha to work here, huh? We got to put Sasha to work. Sasha, you know what you got to do. My unit knows what you got to do. You got to hit my motherfucking music. Grand Slam tonight. Check it out. BC will talk about it tomorrow. I can't do a full review. Tony doesn't like that. But I'll talk about it. Top guy, and I'm out. BC say check you.